Now let's implement proper security by disabling the root password. This is a critical step in hardening your system. Sudo passwd -l root. That's the command we need. And now we can verify the account is now locked with sudo getent with one n shadow root. Please notice this exclamation mark at the beginning of the password field. This indicates the account is locked. So we can go ahead and test that su no longer works. I'll type su dash, provide the root's password, and we get authentication error. Perfect. Su command now fails even with the correct password because the account is locked. This is exactly what we want for security. Okay, now let's demonstrate proper privilege escalation using sudo. This will be your primary method for administrative tasks. You've already seen how to basic use a sudo command. You provide sudo first and then the command you want to perform with sudo privileges, for example, systemctl status ssh. Or we could install the packages with sudo. Again, we'll provide sudo dnf or any package manager on your system, available in your system. And the package you want to install is, for example, links. It asks for updating the repositories and so on. But that's how you use sudo to install packages. Or we could edit some files needing administrative privileges. For instance, sudo nano etc hosts. That'll open the host file with sudo privileges. The host file in nano editor with root privileges. Making a small change, save and exit will demonstrate how to use this sudo privilege. For instance, let's add a space here. Press Ctrl X, save it, and we can save the file. We could also check sudo command history with grep sudo var log secure. We'll be searching the secure log for any line containing the word sudo, and let's pipe it to tail -f hit return, and we'll need to use sudo first. Let's remove this grep sudo and start it with sudo command. Now we'll get the messages, authentication messages. Let me Control C here and change tail -f to tail -5. So that's how you can use sudo here. Okay, let me remind you how to manage sudo access properly. First, let's examine the sudoers file. We do this with sudo v sudo command. This opens the sudoers file in a safe editor. You'll see something like on my screen. To exit without making changes, we press Ctrl X. If we are using nano, but it's Vim default editor on my system, so I'll press :Q. Now let's use a new user we've just created, test user, and give them the sudo access. We'll type sudo test. We'll need to specify the command first. User mod, that's the command -a uppercase G will test user. Now let's verify the user was added with groups test user. So test user is a member of will group. Let's try switching to this test user with sudo su dash test user and test sudo access as the new user. For instance, sudo who am I will provide their password and test user is now root. Perfect. The new user has sudo access. Let's switch back with exit command. And now let's secure SSH to prevent root login entirely. This is critical for production systems. Let's check current SSH configuration first. So we'll type sudo grep -uppercase E in single quotes ** permit root login. Let's continue to the next line. and we'll be searching in etc sshd_config. So you'll get something like this on my screen. Now we can edit SSH configuration with nano editor, so I'll type sudo nano etc sshd config, and here we'll need to find the line with permit root login and change it. So let's search for this line. Actually, we can press Ctrl W and search for hash permit root login. Hit enter and we'll find this line. So let's change it to, let's uncomment it first, then permit root login, and we'll remove this part and add no here. Press Ctrl X to save, hit Y to save, and let's try to test SSH configuration. So I'll type sudo ssh -t. Seems like I haven't got SSH enabled on this system, so let me enable it. I'll type sudo systemctl enable sshd now. Let's check its status. Sudo systemctl status sshd. Now it's enabled, and let's run the previous command sudo sshd -t. We get no output, meaning configuration is valid. Oh, to be sure, let's restart sshd service. I'll type restart sudo systemctl restart sshd, sorry, and let's try to SSH as root to the local host. Local host will provide the root's password, and we get an error. Permission denied. Let's exit and try to log in as our current user, and we can log in. So this rule has been enabled successfully.